Hello friends and welcome to my new video. In today's video I'll be talking about an actor, a star who really needs no introduction. It'll be enough to say that he was probably the greatest star ever to have graced the Indian screen. And countless of actors, countless of stars have openly cited him to be their biggest influence while working in movies. Be it an Amitabh Bachchan or be it a Shah Rukh Khan, everyone has said that the reason for them being an actor is Dilip Kumar. Dilip Kumar Saab is no longer with us. He left us a few days ago. But someone like Dilip Kumar never really leaves us. As long as there is Indian cinema, there will be Dilip Kumar. And his contribution, his influence, the effect he's had on the Indian film industry, the Hindi film industry, is unparalleled. Starting from the 40s till the late 90s, nearly 50 years that he worked in a handful of films, he worked in a select few films. I think his total filmography will not exceed 65 to 66. I think that's the maximum number of films that I can think that Dilip Kumar has acted in. But the mark he's left is invaluable. The influence he's had on generations is incalculable. Dilip Kumar is an institution by himself, and to speak about Dilip Kumar needs a depth and needs a certain amount of understanding of cinema, which I don't claim to have. Hence, I really won't be the right person to be talking too much about Dilip Kumar. But what I can talk about and what I will talk about today are my favorite films of Dilip Kumar. In today's episode, I will be discussing my top 12 Dilip Kumar performances. As always, it's a personal list, it's a personal choice. So some of your favorites may be missing from my list. But this is a list of my favorites, and that's the way it is. It's very difficult for me to arrange the films in order of my liking or preference. Hence, I have gone chronologically. I have started from the beginning to his most recent works that I liked. That's how I have selected my top 12 Dilip Kumar films. The first film in my list is the 1949 film Andhas, starring Dilip Kumar, Raj Kapoor and Nargis in the lead roles, directed by Mehboob Khan. It's a fantastic film. It has a story which is really, really progressive for its time. You've got to remember it's a movie over 70 years old, but it's a fabulous film about a woman who is an independent, carefree woman and who makes a friendship with a man, but not love, it's friendship. And the man confuses the friendship with love and the complications it leads to. Dilip Kumar plays the role of the man who is spurned by Nargis because she is in love with Raj Kapoor and she thinks of Dilip Kumar only as a friend. His role was really a complex role with lots of shades in his character, and the way Dilip Kumar acted was absolutely fabulous. He was brilliant in the movie of The Jilted Lover. Andhas, starring Nargis, Raj Kapoor and Dilip Kumar, is number one for me. 1949 movie. The next movie on my list is Daag, directed by Amir Bose and co-starring Nimi. And Dilip Kumar once again puts in a fabulous performance as an alcoholic man whose life is ruined due to his addiction to alcohol. And it's a role that has so many nuances, and his character has so many shades which he has to tackle at the same time, and Dilip Kumar does it effortlessly. He does it absolutely effortlessly. I remember in Daag there is this particular scene where he has money which he needs to buy medicines for his ailing mother who's on a deathbed, and he instead goes and spends that money on drinks. He's so addicted to alcohol. That scene, I can never forget that scene. That scene stays with me so many years after I'd first seen Daag. One brilliant performance by Dilip Kumar, Daag in 1952. The next film on my list, the third film on my list, is from 1953, directed by Zia Sarhadi, and the film is Footpath. A lot of you may not have heard of the movie, but most of you would have definitely heard a super hit song from the movie, Shame Gam Ki Kasam, Aaj Gamgeen Hai Hum, Aap Hi Ja, Aaj Mere Sanam. It's a fabulous song from a wonderful movie called Footpath. It co-starred Meena Kumari, but Dilip Kumar plays a role which in a lot of ways could be a precursor to Diwar. He plays the role of an honest journalist here who goes to the other side of the law when he is disillusioned and when his job is destroyed, and he goes to the other side of the law only to repent in the end. It's one of the earlier anti-hero roles Dilip Kumar plays, and Footpath is a brilliant example of what a fine actor he was. Number 4 on my list is another Mehboob Khan film. After doing Andhas with Mehboob Khan in 1954, he re-teamed with him to star in Amar, where he plays the title role. Amar also stars Madhumati and Nimi, and it's another controversial film and quite a a movie made ahead of its time. Amar depicts Dilip Kumar as a happy-go-lucky man engaged to Anju, his sweetheart, and they're about to get married when an allegation of rape is brought against him. That's what the story is about, and how he deals with it is what Amar is about. A fantastic movie, great performance by Dilip Kumar and Nimi and Madhumati. Do watch it. I think the DVD is available. I don't know whether it's available on OTT or not, but the DVD is definitely available. Do watch Amar to see a fabulous Dilip Kumar. The next movie on my list is the classic tragedy king role of Dilip Kumar, Devas, from 1955, directed by Bimal Roy and starring Suchitra Sen and Vaijayanti Mala in the lead roles as well. And what do I say about Devas which hasn't been said before? It's a role tailor-made for Dilip Kumar. With his image of the tragedy king, there was no one better to essay the role of this loser, this alcoholic, this absolutely spent in love lover. And as always, Dilip Kumar puts in a fabulous performance. Bimal Roy's direction is great, and I'm particularly not very fond of Devdas as a story, and hence I have really not liked any of the film versions. There have been so many versions of Devdas on the Indian screen in different languages. I've never been fond of any one of them, excepting perhaps the Dilip Kumar one. He was magnificent. After Devdas, at number 6 is Musafir, directed by Hrishikesh Mukherjee. It was Hrishikesh Mukherjee's first movie, first feature film, and Dilip Kumar plays the lead role in one of the 3 stories Musafir has. Musafir is a film made of 3 separate short stories, and Dilip Kumar plays the role of Pagla Babu, a man lost in love, in the final story of the film. As always, he is brilliant. It's again an extension of his tragedy king image, and he does it wonderfully. A great movie by Hrishikesh Mukherjee, Musafir, starring Dilip Kumar. At number 7 is an iconic movie directed by B.R. Chopra. It was a movie with a lot of socio-political relevance at that time, made about 13 or 14 years, or 10 years actually, after independence. It was a story of rural versus urban. It was a story of development versus existing ways and means of life. And it was P.R. Chopra's path-breaking Nyada story of a Tanga wala who earns his livelihood by riding the Tanga in the village, and how his and other people in the village livelihood is threatened when a bus company comes in to start bus services in the village. That's what the movie is about, and Dilip Kumar is absolutely brilliant in his performance. The movie has some great songs as well, wonderful music, a wonderful soundtrack that Nyada has, starring Vajantimala and Ajit in lead roles alongside Dilip Kumar. Another iconic performance by Dilip Saab. Nyada, directed by B.R. Chopra. At number 8 is again another Bimal Roy classic, a story of reincarnation written by Ritik Bhatak and directed by Bimal Roy with music, evergreen music by Salil Chaudhary. This is Madhumati, starring Dilip Kumar, Vajantimala and Pran in the lead roles. Another great performance by Dilip Kumar as a lover spanning 2 lives, and I think one of the best stories of on reincarnation on the Indian screen. It's one of the best reincarnation stories ever made. Madhumati, directed by Bimal Roy. At number 9 comes K. Asif's magnum opus, Mughal-e-Azam, released in 1960. And apart from the fact that it was a bumper hit, it was a performance of a lifetime from Dilip Kumar. You know, contrasting with the aggression and the larger-than-life presence of Prithviraj Kapoor as Emperor Akbar. Here was Dilip Saab portraying a silent hurt, a brooding anger, and a helplessness which he could only convey with his eyes, and an absolutely marvelous performance as Prince Salim. Dilip Kumar in Mughal-e-Azam was fantastic. He was regal in the movie. A great performance. At number 10 will be perhaps my most favorite Dilip Kumar performance of all time. It is the 1961 movie Ganga Chamna, and the story is written by Dilip Kumar himself. A lot of people say he directed the movie as well, which was never confirmed officially. Nitin Bose is credited officially as the director of Ganga Chamna, and let it remain at that. But as far as performances go, I think it is my single most favorite Dilip Kumar performance. As a simple villager who loves his brother, who loves his sweetheart, and how he is forced to go to the other side of the law and become a dacoit. It was one of the earliest films on that subject, and so many countless films have been made on the same subject of 2 brothers being on opposite sides of the law and their clash and their confrontation, but none better than Ganga Chamna. Dilip Kumar is absolutely awesome. He is mind-blowing in Ganga Chamna. It just amazes me when I look back at the awards history and I see Dilip Kumar, who has won 8 or 9 Filmfare Awards, I think, for Best Actor, not getting it for Ganga Chamna. I'm amazed how that performance could go unnoticed and unrewarded. Unrewarded it wasn't, because it was a super hit and people applauded and lapped up his brilliant performance in Ganga Chamna. Do see it if you haven't. If you need to see just one Dilip Kumar movie in your life, Ganga Chamna is the movie. It's a must-watch. At number 11 comes a movie which released at a time when Dilip Kumar himself realized that his days as a leading man were perhaps coming to an end, or coming towards the end. And he decided to give it, the last hurrah, so to say, with this fabulous out-and-out entertaining performance in Ram Aur Shyam, released in 1967, where he essays the double role of 2 brothers separated at birth and completely of contrasting nature. Ram is the shy, timid, scared, docile one, and Shyam is the extrovert, the outgoing, happy-go-lucky, daredevil kind of a guy. And it's a story of their 2 lives, and their 2 lives interchanging at certain point in time. That's what the movie is about. It was a precursor to films like Sita or Geeta, Kishan Kanhaiya, Chalbaz, they all followed up to Ramosa. Very few of them matching up to the great standards of Ramosa, set primarily by Dilip Kumar. He was magnificent in Ramosa. Do watch it. At number 12, the last movie in my top 12 is again yet another super favorite movie. Perhaps it would be number 2 in my list of ranking after Ganga Chamna, and that is the 1982 film Shakti, directed by Ramesh and starring Dilip Kumar, Amitabh Bachchan, Rakhi and Smita Patil. I think it's only fitting that Dilip Saab and Mr. Bachchan came in one movie together, because if it had to be just one movie, there couldn't have been a better movie than Shakti. It's a classic movie of a confrontation between father and a son, the misunderstandings, the distance, the gulf between two generations, and how it is so difficult, almost impossible to bridge. Amitabh Bachchan and Dilip Kumar put in performances of their lifetime in this movie. And as I said, it's so fitting that Mr. Bachchan and Dilip Saab just acted once together, because I don't think they would ever be able to recreate another Shakti or outdo it. Shakti remains at the pinnacle of their acting performances for both of them, for Dilip Saab and for Amitabh Bachchan. A wonderful film made by Ramesh Sippy. Well, so these were my top 12 favorite movies of Dilip Saab. We all miss him today all the more because he's physically no longer with us. But as I said, a personality like Dilip Kumar, an actor like Dilip Kumar, a star like Dilip Kumar, a human being like Dilip Kumar comes once in a lifetime. And we have been blessed to have him amongst us for as long as we did. Rest in peace, Dilip Saab. I hope you're happy up there. And for us, you will always live on. As long as Indian cinema is there, Dilip Kumar will remain. That's all for this week. Until the next time, bye for now.